Welcome to the Honey and Harry Show. I'm Honey.
And I'm Harry.
And we're at the beach. I'm so excited. We're in Florida.
This is good.
We're in Perdido Key, and we are live in the condo. So I hope it all works out well.
Yeah. Well, a condo doesn't have the best internet, either download or upload.
I know.
Hope this all gets out there at some point. That's our plan, anyway.
So Dad, do you want to show the video before we introduce everything?
I want to prove to you that we're not just faking the beach thing. So we're going to show you a quick little video.
Look at that.
This is me standing on the balcony of the 9th floor, scanning the beach, looking at all of the umbrellas set up.
Okay, so wait, Dad, that little horseshoe right there, that's where we
that's what I thought it was.
That's where we hang out all day.
Yeah. So that's what's going on outside our hotel.
Yes.
Condo, rather, down at the beach.
Mm-hmm. And hey, Aunt Patricia. Aunt Patricia just said hello.
Oh, yeah, right. Let's see if I can get that on the screen.
Yeah. So, okay. Can we get her up there? She waved.
It's not going up.
Well, I know.
Okay, well, that's how it works, you know.
I know. Oh, my goodness. Okay, well, today we have two really great guests. These guests are just an addition to our family. That's what I love. These are like great additions to our family. I have Andrew, who is married to my cousin, and I have Mary Helen, who her daughter's married to one of my cousins. So thank you for being here.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And we actually, the minute I saw Andrew, and I was like, okay, what are we doing? Because he's such a tech-savvy guy, and he's got great personality, and he's like, well, maybe we should talk about something serious, like something that really means something that can help people. And he actually came up with the idea that we talk about dementia, and it was just so weird. It was like the best thing. It was a God thing. It was a total God thing, because
Absolutely.
It has affected our family.
Right.
Hugely. It has affected Mary Helen. And that's why Mary Helen, so thank you for coming on, because I know, it's hard to talk about all these things. And then Andrew's actually dealing with that, and has apparently been dealing with it for a little while.
Yeah,
with his father.
Did my little internet research, and one of the things that I read was that you have at least a 50-50 chance of either contracting dementia or caring for somebody who has it. So it's not an uncommon thing, certainly. There are like 7 million people in the United States suffering from this, right, as we speak.
It's so crazy. It is. And it's like, you're here at the beach, and you're making all these memories, and then it's sad because all those memories just fade away for them. Right. So, but anyways, we're going to talk about it. So welcome to the show. And we are going to start off, I guess, Andrew, and I don't know if I should start off with Andrew or Mary Helen. Mary Helen has dealt with this, but Andrew's dealing with this right now, and it's pretty much up to you. Does it matter who goes first?
Andrew can go first.
You want to go first, Andrew? So,
all right.
So why don't you tell a little bit what's going on? Can I say it's with your dad? I mean, we're going to say that.
Absolutely.
It's his dad.
It's with my father.
Mm-hmm.
But let's back up a little first, just for everybody who doesn't know what dementia is, right?
Absolutely.
And what dementia is the loss of cognitive ability. So like things you've been able to do, things that have come to you your entire life, they just don't come like they used to, like when you talk, it's not fluid. You put a lot more thought into it. Your kids' names may not come to you, the word that you want to say may take you a minute or two to get out, or you may completely not recognize who somebody is.
Yeah.
And it's just those things not firing right in the brain, and it can be frustrating and confusing and hard to identify as all. But maybe Mary Helen has a little more you can elaborate, and maybe something I missed on that.
Well, let's see. I feel like, that's called aphasia, that when the right words won't come out. And honestly, it was erratic behavior with my husband before he got diagnosed. Lots of erratic behavior. He got into automobile accidents, and it took a long time for him to get diagnosed. He probably started with it right after Katrina, and I think it was trauma from that, him being stuck at our home. And then with the company too, like, however many employees we had at the time, I don't even remember, 60 plus employees, what were they going to do after Katrina? Because, everything was shut down. So I think all of that really brought this on, looking back. And he was in his 40s when it happened.
Wow.
I'm
Yeah,
taking-
absolutely. Like one of the first things when we started, we had two signs with my father when it came to his dementia. One was way early, and we didn't even realize it was. We thought it may be connected, but we didn't. When my dad was in his early 40s, he managed to lose his sense of smell completely.
Wow.
Just couldn't smell anything. I mean, one day he cooked rotten eggs, and he could tell they were rotten, and he was excited.
Wow.
To that point of no sense of smell.
None.
And then when we really got worried was he, the first hallucination he ever had, he went to a business party and they had a big table where they were putting coats on the table. And he went out and he saw it and he thought it was a table full of dead bodies.
No.
Hallucinations.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and so he went and he had a real hard time with that, and they had to go, and then that's when we really started getting serious looking into what was going on.
So did y'all, this is my question to y'all, and I guess, Andrew, you had a great suggestion too. We are not medical people. We are not doctors. We are not saying anything that you should take as medical advice from us. Just that was such a great suggestion. I'm glad you told me to say that, because we're just talking about their personal experience with this disease.
Neither of us, nobody here is a medical professional.
Yeah.
We're simply people who have dealt with it, and we're telling our experiences to maybe help some people that have less experience, or maybe, you have somebody in your life that you haven't diagnosed yet, and it's really important to be on top of it as opposed to behind it.
So, Mary Helen, that's what I want to ask you. It was hard with your husband. You were saying y'all didn't know at first. You had no idea. Because, why would you think that? Why would you think?
Because he was so young.
Because he was, you just don't think that right away. But you even said that your dad was starting to show signs in 40. Mm-hmm. So apparently it starts showing small signs, but it's confusing. So maybe you can kind of tell a little bit.
Well, he did. Okay, so 2005 was Katrina. He got diagnosed in 2013. That's when he finally got diagnosed.
Wow.
Wow. And he died in 2017. So he had frontal lobe dementia, which is all your motor skills. That's in the front of the brain. And I went for a second opinion, just to make sure that we had the diagnosis when he finally got diagnosed, that was, to get a second opinion just to be sure of it. And, honestly, caregiving, I'll say this right off the top, it kicks your butt. Okay, it does. Mm-hmm. It's a 24/7 job that you really didn't sign up for, but you did because this is your spouse. Or even, my mother had it at the same time. My mother and my husband were in the same facility at the same time.
That's crazy.
And she passed before him. She passed a year and a half before him. But I kept my husband, at home for as long as I could. And it got to the point I can't do this anymore. I was 100 pounds and, doing it by myself. And our only daughter was in college. Well, high school when it first started, and then on to college. So, if I would have learned, there was a lot I learned. And I want to help people do the things that be aware of the things that I didn't do, because it's like on the job training. And one thing was, nobody ever, and I thought about this after the fact, nobody really asked you how you were doing. They asked, how's Ray? You know, how's your mom? And it never, I never thought about it. I mean, that was my main focus. It was, I was never in the equation. It was all about him. And so, you know, that's one thing when I reach out to people, how are you?
Mary Helen,
How
I'm
are
gonna
you?
I'm gonna interject by, I went through something hard with my child, and that was the first thing you said is, how are you doing? And I was like, so taken back. Nobody's asked me that. No one. It's like, how are you doing? You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
you're having to deal with so
low
much,
too.
and it's a lot.
Well, you know, currently for me, I mean, I can understand because, you know, it does take a lot on you, but there's so much going on that it can't be about you at the same time.
No, it can't be about you, but you can't lose yourself
you
in all
definitely
this
cannot.
because it'll, like you said, Mary, it'll kill you.
Mm-hmm.
It can. Like
Most caregivers die.
they do, they do. And talk about how it, like, I don't know, would y'all, how does it affect the family, and if y'all want to talk about that some, and that's very personal.
Oh, I would love to say. I mean, it's a stress. It would be a stress for anyone, you know. You go in and you're used to having your marriage. When you come home at the end of the day and you see your wife, you see your loved ones, you see your children, and you know that's a routine that you've built upon years. But when you have this happen in your life, you know you have to answer the phone when well, you don't have to, but you should answer the phone when they call. You know, you should try to do things. They need help with small things that are easy to you, you know, and on top of it, at least in my experience, when my father runs into a problem, instead of letting it go, he hyper focuses on it, and it becomes a reoccurring loop in his head where I need the answer to this. I need this resolved now. Otherwise, I'm just going to sit here and I'm going to worry about it for, you know, if you say I'll get there in like 2 days, those 2 days, that's what he's worried about.
So, Andrew, I don't mean to interrupt, but we have a question for y'all. Any tips for how to care for friends and family that are the caregivers?
Reach out to them.
Yeah, reach out to them.
And just ask them how they're doing. Is there anything I can help you with?
Because y'all are going to say no.
Yeah.
That you can, no, so the caregivers are like such strong people, but like, what, like if somebody could do, like, what is it that y'all could, I mean, I know it's.
My caregiver, I'm currently, when I get back, I'm making her a batch of caramel corn.
Oh, good.
Like,
okay.
So I try to give them treats. I let them know that there are angels. I let them know that they do stuff that I can't do.
So people who were at the facility that when you can't be there, and I don't know if they were talking about that, but that's a great idea for the people that are caring for your loved ones when you're not there, because you can't be there 24/7.
Another thing that I'm doing is I've got myself a little digital recorder, and whenever somebody does something nice for my dad, I have him dictate a thank you letter to them.
I love
and I
that.
chop it down in MP3 and I send it to them. And that way, the thought is, A, my dad gets to send out a thank you letter. B, it comes from his voice. C, in the future, you know, when my mother passed away, I kept her cell phone line open for so long just so I could listen to her voicemail. Okay, so I could hear her voice. And what I want to do with this is I record thank yous and I send them to people. So when they look at him or think about him, and when he's in constant need, they can go back and replay the thank you message, and they can hear, you know, him saying thanks, as opposed to when he gets further along in the process, he's not there yet. He's doing very well, by the way, everyone. He's doing very well. We're very happy with him right now. But when we get to the process where talking may become more challenging, Everybody has audio clips of him personally reaching out to them, saying thank you, and how much he appreciates and values them.
Well, thank you for that's huge. I love that. I love that idea. Now, Mary Helen, I know you were saying that music.
Oh, I used to go to the facility. Well, I went to the facility
Uh-huh.
every single day, and spent, from till he went to bed. I mean, I don't know, whatever time I got there. I'd have a person go in the morning for a couple of hours until I got there, and then stayed until, he showered. I showered him and everything. But I had a little speaker, and I'd bring that speaker there and play music. And it is amazing how that entire place, their whole attitude changed. Got up and danced with them.
Really?
And it was for me too. It was therapy for me. Oh, it's amazing.
Or
what
just
it does.
music. Have you done anything like that, Andrew, with your dad?
I
With
haven't
music?
done the music thing with him yet. No.
You
it's
should
something
try
I'm
that.
definitely gonna try.
Is there like he has favorite music?
Oh yeah, he loves the Beach Boys.
Yeah.
Well, you ought to try that.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah,
anything
absolutely.
like
Sounds
that. And another thing I wanted to say, friends, I know it's got to be hard because sometimes friends quit showing up and family quit. It's just you get to that point.
They
I mean,
say
I'm
it's
sure
too hard.
some people can't deal with it.
Well, that's
It's a challenge when you see somebody who's been strong their whole life and resilient their whole life, and then all of a sudden they aren't. It's not the same person that you grew to know, and it's not as easy. It's a little tough. I can understand.
Yeah, because that has to be. I can't imagine like that person. I mean, and I shouldn't say I can't imagine. I can't imagine because both of my grandmothers had it, and I know it was my grandmothers, and I know Dad. You used to drive to take care of Mom once a week, and Uncle Eddie
Yeah,
took
well,
care of Mom.
we had a 24/7 mostly caretaker in my brother.
Yeah.
But in order for him to survive, we had to spot in and come in and tag team.
Because you need breaks.
Because he needed a
Oh,
break,
yeah.
and his family needed a break too. So, two brothers that live in Baton Rouge would come down on different days,
Yeah.
and
You and Uncle Don.
sisters and brothers in Metairie. So that helped a lot, but it was still really hard, right?
it takes a village.
Yeah, it takes a village.
does.
Exactly.
And then Big Mama, we had her in the nursing home in
Right.
Baton Rouge, and Mom would always go.
Yeah.
And I went, Uncle Michael would go. Everybody took turns going. I just remembered when Katrina happened, she was in the nursing home, and she had come live with Mom, and I remember giving them a break one night. She had a colostomy bag, and I didn't understand because I was in my 30s. I think I was in my 30s. I still didn't know. She had told me that they hadn't fed her, and that she hadn't had a shrimp po' boy in so long, and I thought my parents were horrible. I was like, yeah, because I didn't understand what dementia was. That was the first time I kind of heard. I was like, oh my gosh, they haven't fed her. So I was like, that's so unlike my mother. I went and got her shrimp po' boy. Well, then her bag exploded.
Not exactly.
So then it
Dinner time stuff.
took me a little while to understand the disease too, because they don't remember what's going on. They don't know where they're at. They don't know who you are. So we've had experience, and it's sad because my grandmothers didn't know who I was, and it feels weird. It's scary,
So I'm going to talk about that. My husband knew me up until the day he died, when he went
What?
into a coma.
That's cool.
Oh, he knew him. He knew me.
Really?
He did.
So that's amazing.
Because it was frontal lobe, which is, now he didn't eat because he started choking on food, so he couldn't eat anything. I mean, at first it was like thinning the liquids
Right.
and all of that,
That's
and then it
awful.
got to the point where he could not eat.
That's just
And I witnessed somebody choking to death once before. Yeah, I did, and I said he will not do that. I mean, he didn't want a feeding tube or anything, he didn't. So,
So Darren is one of my great best buds from high school, but he has a great idea.
Don't even ask, just do something for people.
Just don't even ask when people
yeah, that's
drop off a meal,
Yep.
give them some relief for a few hours, be an ear to just listen and not just let them talk. I'm sure
Mm-hmm.
just to listen to.
And that goes back, I wanted to mention this too, is I went to caregiver support,
Okay.
but I didn't go until my husband got in the facility because I didn't want to leave him. And they had it at the facility and then also other places as well. And then afterwards I went to grief support. But I always found, it's everybody that's in the same boat, so
Yes.
they could offer experience,
Right.
their experience
And that
with
might be
it.
something good
Yeah.
for you to do. You know what I mean? Just so you can get different ideas too.
Right.
Absolutely.
But what's the type of dementia, I'm sorry, that your father has? Do you
I believe
know?
it's dementia mixed with Lewy body Parkinson's.
Oh yeah,
wow.
Okay.
that's not an easy one.
Yeah. So
I'm so sorry. Yeah.
And it's
horrible.
not, there's so
Sorry.
many varieties of disability that comes with this. They all have their own different, expressions of what happens to people.
And the other thing another question was like playing games. Is that good for them? For their
But
mind?
if they haven't played them though before, like Ray never really played games.
Oh.
Yeah,
So really
would
a
really work.
puzzle or
Or asking them
no-
questions?
I
yeah,
go
Making 'em
days.
think.
I go a lot of days and I play cribbage with my father,
that's good.
which
See?
it's a math game. He has to count. He has to keep track. He has to deal. He has to remember whose book it is. Whose crib it is, not book. We aren't playing hearts. But whose crib it is, and there are a whole bunch of things going on that make him use his mind.
That's
You know?
great.
And I always like asking him questions. When I am driving around in my car taking him somewhere, I make him give me directions.
Oh,
I'm like, "How do I get there, Dad?" And he will tell me, and I'll go the way he says.
really?
Right.
See, they're just those little bitty things that I know Big Mama was big at the puzzles.
Yes, crossword.
We-
the jigsaw puzzles.
Yeah, jigsaw. And Ma had a list of people because Ma should have been a nun, and she prayed for everybody, and she would have the names of all her grandchildren, all her children, all her
Oh.
great grandchildren, and she would go through them. Remember that?
Yeah, and we made a picture book for her that showed the children and their names and how old they were, and that helped her try to hold the memories just a little longer. She remembered her caregivers who were there all the time, but the children who were not there all the time,
Right.
That's
that was
tough.
evaporating very fast.
Mm-hmm.
So, other question is: are some days like better than others? Do they have their like ups and downs? Like some days you can go in, they seem like they're good, and then some days they're not.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
For me, I find when my dad has great days when it's low stress. Like if he's sitting there and it's a normal routine day where he's doing his normal things, he can do just perfectly. But if he hits things out of the ordinary, they become very stressful to him.
Really?
And he has a harder time interacting once that happens.
Yep. We had an experience like that with my mother-in-law, Margaret's mom, where you wanted to keep things attractive in the room for her when she was at the nursing home, but we changed something on the wall, and it just that was not good because the room no longer looked
The same.
the same. So
And so it's important. to keep
stability
it.
was very helpful, and instability was not helpful.
Another thing that we've been doing is we've been having my father do boxing classes.
Really?
Yes. In the later stages of dementia, you lose your balance, so you can't walk. And what boxing does is it allows you to focus on your punch, and the big thing is it makes you work on your balance when you stand, so you can walk longer, you can do things like that, and it's very good. And my dad absolutely loves it. I think he gets excited to go.
Really?
Yeah.
I love that. Did y'all do anything like that with Ray or?
Mm-mm. No, and Ray actually he went from, thank God, walking to being in the bed. He didn't go to a wheelchair or anything.
Wow.
He went. It was quick with that at the end.
So let me ask you this, and I've heard of this before. Sundowners. What does that mean?
Exactly what it means. Like when the sun starts going down, they get very agitated.
Really?
Uh-huh.
So
My aunt has that.
really? What about you, Andrew? Does your dad?
I haven't experienced this yet. This is something that I have not seen, but my dad tends to be pretty good at night with his schedule, but who knows when it progresses,
Confused. They get very confused.
Very confused at night.
I think just when the sun starts going down, I don't know why. There's a reason, and I don't know the reason.
Yeah, I mean,
Right.
like we said, we weren't
No.
medical people. We have a couple more people watching, Dad.
Yeah, I have people tuning in and saying hi and very sympathetic with what's going on. So
Yeah.
we thank y'all all for tuning in for sure. Here, Wendy has something there.
Okay, so Wendy's saying that going through sundowns with my 94-year-old cousin living at St. James. I see it. It's up here. I can't see. Move that little thing, Dad.
It's painful to see.
It's painful to see. It is painful to see. Yeah, I mean, it's why we wanted to talk about this because, even both of y'all, when we were sitting on the balcony and talking, what was it, Monday night maybe? Nobody talks about it.
Nope. Nobody talks about it. Everybody just kind of sweeps it under the rug, which is why I thought it would be a great idea for a topic for us because it impacts so many people, but people just don't talk about it because it's an awkward subject. It's a hard subject. I mean, how do you breach it, without downing the whole area you're in, Like, you can't go out to the bar and talk about it with your friends. Like, you just move on.
Yeah, you don't I mean, and nobody understands it lots of times. And I'm sure you felt that way.
Oh yeah, they don't understand. I mean,
And I mean, I can't imagine as your husband, even we were on the beach today, and I hope you don't mind me sharing. I would share it anyways. And you were like, it just wasn't supposed to be like this.
yeah. I mean,
it just wasn't. I feel bad. It's just hard, and it's just,
it's nobody's fault. I mean,
No,
but it's
it's-
still
yeah,
I'm angry about it. I'll go to my grave being angry. I will.
yeah. I'd be angry. You have every right to be angry.
That's just the way it is.
Mm-hmm.
It's not
know.
anybody's fault. No,
And
it
there's
just
nothing
runs-
and that's the crazy thing. Like y'all were both saying, it started so early on, and you're just not thinking about that, and you just don't think about signs. And maybe y'all did, Andrew. Maybe y'all were thinking of signs because y'all were but like you were, like Katrina happened, and it did affect him, and it messed him up. It was such a stress. I mean, did your dad go through something that was like crazy? I mean, well, he lost his wife when he was young.
We didn't see anything until that party, and then we've had things slowly go on, but I think we were always had it in the back of our mind because it's happened to previous family members.
So y'all have had other people in the family.
And, it's been something we've been looking at, but once the hallucinations started is when we really started worrying,
Well, yeah, because that's pretty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We got him to doctor immediately, got him identified, got him medicated, and, so I feel like we were actually pretty highly active on getting it once it hit.
Okay. Well, Dad, is there anything else you want to add to this, or is there anything else y'all want to share with this? Is there any? Because Mary Helen, do you have anything? Because you've been through it. I feel like you went through it. And then you after. How's it after? Like,
I look back and see things that I was in a fog for so long. Now, I definitely have post-traumatic, PTSD.
yeah, you
Absolutely,
have to.
I do. I have it. And I never realized it until after the fact. Like I said, you just go through you do what you got to do at the time.
You're surviving.
Yeah, surviving.
You're in survival mode.
Yeah.
Right now, yes.
You're just surviving. So it's not even hitting him.
I'm just trying to make his life as easy as I can right now.
That's all you're doing.
If he wants to do something, we do it. I go visit him 6-7 times a week. Like, it's a priority for me.
Absolutely.
And it's like I said, it impacts you because you don't have that free time to go do X, Y, and Z that you were doing to make your spouse happy, or playing with your kids, or, you know, it's just, it's hard on everyone involved, every person, you know. I'm not the only one in my family working on this. We have a bunch of people working on this. It's a big team and it's still a stress.
Wow.
You know?
And some people, like, it was just you. So can you imagine?
Yeah. I mean, if it's one person, I don't know how I would handle anything like this.
I know. I mean, it's crazy. But anyway, so
of course, the interesting thing here is that there are statistics, and one can go look them up, but they don't tell your story.
No.
You know,
No.
they don't necessarily even relate to your story, but there are statistics, and I think the number I saw was that 8% of the Medicare age people are have some form of dementia at this point in time. That's nationwide, but in New Orleans, Louisiana, the number is 15.3%.
Wow.
So it's nearly twice the nation's average, because the Southeast has more older people, more African Americans, more Asians, more less educated people, because they say sometimes an early education can actually help a little bit with either handling the dementia or forestalling it. But New Orleans has got a very large problem, obviously. So, and there's a lot of people in the South
so
as well.
crazy, huh?
So it's certainly hitting a lot of people hard. And look at all of the cases we've just talked about.
Just
in our
right now.
families, right?
And I mean, I have a friend, and I'm not going to share too much because that's very personal. I have a friend they had somebody that was young in their family, and it was like it happened.
Mhm.
They didn't understand it, and then all of a sudden she's in a facility, and the next thing you know,
She died.
mm-hmm. It's like boom, 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 and young. So it's just like, but you don't. It just comes out of nowhere, you know. So your dad's blessed to have you and his family and his team of people, and Ray was so blessed to have you and Lindsay. So.
Well, thank you so much for sharing with us
I
tonight.
know.
It's not an easy story to share about, but
And I hope it did help. Like, you know, you hear Wendy, you know, she sharing her cousin going through this.
Yeah.
I mean, there's so many people, and it's true. Like, I do think what Darren said is brilliant, because don't ask, because that's the thing. People people ask me, people ask you all the time, like us. We're gonna say nothing. We're not gonna want help. I mean, you're gonna say. But, like, how nice would that be if somebody just shows up with a meal? Or how nice is that if somebody just even writes you a card or, like, sends you a prayer
thinking
card?
of you or whatever.
You know, praying for your dad. You know what I mean?
right.
You know, the prayers are the main thing that you want, you know? I know Mary Helen used to send me prayer cards, and I'm going to send you one too, Andrew. But anyway, so all this hard stuff, but, you know, the thing is, life goes on. You know, and this is the way it works, and there's lots of things to celebrate. And today, we were on the beach, and I was busy handing out my cards on the beach.
Good. I'm glad you were doing
Yeah,
that.
on the beach, trying to get some people to watch us. And
Right.
this big event happened.
A God wink.
And
This
it
is
was,
a God
it was,
wink.
this was the, no, you're right, Mary Helen. This was the God week of all this. It's the best thing because, as you know, I've said before on the show, there's several different jobs I wanted as a small child.
And one of them was
A marine
a
biologist.
marine biologist. Absolutely.
Because, you know, that's, you know, now I'm moving to Florida and this is what I'm going to do. This is it.
Well, I think at least half the young ladies who were 10 years old want to be marine biologists when they grow up. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, I just want
I've
to be.
heard a lot.
I want to be a lot. Too bad I wasn't like a genius because I could have been like 75 different things, you know. But anyways, so today they did a release on a sea turtle that got injured. They had this sea turtle got hurt and they fixed him. He rehabbed and they let him back out. And we got to watch. Everybody got to watch him go in the water. So we're gonna show the video real quick.
Yeah, watch this video.
It's amazing.
A couple of minutes long. It's interesting.
And we don't know if it's a boy or a girl.
Look at the turtle.
It's on the sand. They put it down.
seen any sharks either. That's the other thing.
No,
Is
no sharks.
everybody found out I was coming to the beach, and everybody's sending me 75 of those little reels of the sharks eating people. I'm like, people, quit. I'm going, and we're gonna enjoy our vacation. But anyways, anything you want to add today?
Yeah, well, I want to thank everybody, all of the fans who chimed in here tonight, Michelle and Troy and Lauren and Darren and Imperfect Bravery. I'm not sure who that is, but that's cool from YouTube. And Allison and
Hey,
Wendy, of course, and Marie.
Yeah, Miss Marie. Hey, Miss Marie.
Thank you so much for checking in with us tonight. I hope you enjoyed the show. What are we doing next week, honey? Are we?
Yes, we have a guest. It's the it was Janet, right?
Yes.
World
yes.
War II. A museum in New Orleans. She volunteered for 12 years, and she's going to come educate us about all the things that go on over there. So
Right. She's been a volunteer over there for many years now.
No, 12 years.
Yes. Okay.
12 years.
And it's a fabulous museum. It's just amazing.
Yeah, and it's and that's the other thing I wanted to say. We have been seeing the we saw the Blue Angels. When was that? Sunday night we saw them.
I'm
I
not
think
sure. I don't remember what night it was.
It was. We saw them,
Yeah.
and then we keep seeing. And I mean, those are the real men in the world.
We were going to.
They are studs of the world. Like they are like brave. They are men. I love them people.
But we don't know. They might be ladies in the cockpit.
That's right.
They're nowadays
Could be, you
they're
know.
brave women of the world.
Could be,
Okay,
that's right.
yes, but
Yeah.
whatever they are. But anyways, I'm just like so excited we get to see those jets. I mean, I just feel like if you're flying one of those, you are so cool.
We were on our way to Pensacola this morning, and they flew over us 3 times on the highway.
Listen,
Wow.
That's them.
that's them. Listen.
Yeah, you can hear it. And they
Yeah.
the second time they went into a starburst where the 5 of them
Ah.
go
Oh, wow.
off into that
Yeah,
direction.
because if I was taking a walk and down there must be a training thing because they were taking off and going down
Yeah.
a lot doing that. And I've done that before. They walk down there, so I don't know. But anyways, that was super cool to see that, and
Indeed.
that's good with the World War II museum thing. I mean,
Yeah,
those
it ties in real well.
yeah, it ties in at brave. I mean, those are the brave men of the world.
So
But
Honey has
anyways.
been very ambitious this last several weeks, and we have guests lined up for July 3rd, July 10th, July 17th, and July 24th. So we're really going to go into the heavy guest mode in the month of July. And
Yes.
hope we have a good time and hope that you tune in. And we want to thank again our special guest tonight.
Our family that we chose y'all to be our family. We love y'all. We love y'all so much, and thank you
you.
so much for being on and sharing.